What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Thank you for watching. Today we are back with the 72 caliber Zeus. Make sure we get the whole thing in there so you can see how big it actually is. So we just uploaded the first video on this a couple days ago. If you haven't seen that one, definitely go check it out. Basically, it's a 72 caliber air rifle and one of the world's most powerful mass production air guns. And this thing absolutely thumps. It's sick. Once again, before we get started, I've got to thank thepelletshop.com for providing us with this beast, because without them, this video would not be possible. So go check out the website. So in the last video, we took the very first shots and destroyed a bunch of stuff, but there's one very important test we still have to do. The self-defense test on a Ballistic Dummy Lab head. How effective is a 72 caliber air rifle for self-defense if you get a dome shot? Let's find out. Now again, this is all stuff that I went over in more detail in the first video, so go watch that one. I don't want to repeat myself on everything. But a guy called Mr. Hollow Point sent us a few different projectiles for the 72 caliber Zeus. He has a website, mrhollowpoint.com, and a YouTube channel. Please go check him out. He sent 4 to be exact. First up, we have the 440 grain hollow point, which is the lightest one we have, also the fastest. Next up, the 525 grain hollow point, just a little bit longer. The 650 grain hollow point, which I would say is at least the size of a shotgun slug. And last but not least, the 1082 grain hollow point. And all of these slap, but this one is absolutely absurd. Now, just to give you an idea of the power that this beast is putting out, a 9mm or a 45 ACP handgun delivers roughly 400 to 500 foot-pounds of energy. Don't quote me on these numbers, it's just a ballpark, but it is close. The 5.56 is around 12 to 1300, and the 72 caliber Zeus, this air rifle, is carrying 1500 foot-pounds of energy. That's a lot, especially for an air rifle. This thing will take down a bear, no problem, so I assume it will probably work for self-defense, but you already know we have to try it and find out for ourselves. And just to show y'all what kind of power we're dealing with here, I'll go ahead and put one on the steel target really quick. For this, we will use the 525 grain bullet. Going for that yellow plate. That is so crazy. Well, that is a very heavy steel gong, and as you can see, it hits that plate every bit as hard as a real firearm. This thing is awesome. By the way, this is the air pump I've been using to fill up the rifle. It connects to your car battery, and this thing goes all the way up to 4,500 PSI, which is what the rifle maxes out at. But I'm not gonna lie, it does make me nervous because in the instructions, it says to get far away from this thing while you're pumping up the rifle. So I'm always just waiting for it to explode and send a chunk of metal through my forehead. All right, guys, we have to take a quick break to thank today's sponsor, and this video is brought to you by SAR USA. If you have not seen my video on the SAR 9, definitely go check it out. We tortured that thing with water, dirt, mud, sand, pretty much everything I could find, and it did very well. SAR USA produces some of the highest quality 2A tools on the planet, and they supply the militaries of many NATO countries, which means they are built and tested to a standard that has what it takes to pass military trials, which is not an easy thing to do. The polymer frame SAR 9, which is the one I have, endured 150,000 rounds of live fire at the factory. And this superior quality, along with affordable pricing, is what sets SAR USA apart from other companies, and it's why I enjoy using their products. SAR USA is a supporter of this channel, and any company that supports content creators like us is a company that I want to support in return because they make it possible for us to produce these videos. So again, thank you to SAR USA for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate it. Now, back to the show. Now, before we do the self-defense test, there is one more thing we have to try that I did not get done in the last video. The 12-pack of soda. This is both a penetration test and a good energy test because at the end, we get to see if there's any survivors. Let's try it. For this one, we'll go ahead and use the 650 grain hollow point. This is a fairly small target, so hopefully I don't miss and completely embarrass myself. Well, I definitely didn't miss, and I got hit with Mountain Dew all the way back here, so let's see if there's any survivors. I've got to say, in terms of how far it threw those pop cans, this might be one of the most dramatic results we've ever had. We'll start with these way out here. We've got 1, 2, number 3, possibly 4 on the table, 5, 6, 7. Number 8 right there. Let's look at the box. All right, so it looks like there are 4 survivors. Probably just the ones in the very back, and I assume our bullet curved and exited out the bottom of that 12-pack. Well, 8 for 12 is not bad on a 12-pack test, especially with one single projectile. But I still think if that bullet would have went straight, it probably would have destroyed all 12. I guess we'll never know. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do the self-defense test on our Ballistic Dummy Lab head. I have it screwed into the table so it can't move. And in the last video, I shot 2 watermelons to help us decide which bullet to use in this video. And the 525 grain bullet did give us the better watermelon explosion. But as you probably saw in the slow-mo, I also put the 1082 grain bullet a little bit high on that watermelon, so it was partly my fault. And the more I think about it, for this test, it just would not be right if we didn't use the biggest bullet possible. So that's what we're gonna do, the 1082 grain hollow point. Let's do this. I refilled the air rifle, so it is fully charged. We've got our 1082 grain bullet. Let's see what it does. I hope I do not put it too low. Well, his head is now a canoe, so for self-defense, I don't think this bad guy is gonna keep messing with you. And this is nothing short of a miracle, but look what I found about 10 feet in front of us on the ground. That is our bullet that just went through that Ballistic Dummy Lab head. And I don't know if you guys can really appreciate how big that piece of lead is. Completely intact, you can even see some of the red fluid from the ballistic dummy head. I assume it went through, bounced off the railroad ties, and then landed on the ground right there. And the microphone on my other camera is just covered in ballistic dummy blood that was forcefully ejected from that head. And I was aiming a little bit above the head because at close range with scopes and optics, you have that height over bore issue, and I did not want it to go too low. It looks like we got a perfect hit. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm so used to the green zombie blood heads, the red kind of surprised me. A little more realistic. Let's take a look at the result. So, I'm glad it hit where it did because, like I said, a lot of times they end up going too low. This one went pretty much perfectly right in the middle of the forehead, and that thing is a canoe. there is nothing left on the top. And you can see how much damage that it did. If we go around to the back, there's really not an exit hole. It just completely ejected the entire top half of this head. I would say it probably came out right there, you know, just absolute destruction, and even more impressive than I thought it would be. Well, there's your answer. Like I said, the 72 caliber Zeus is legitimately a big game air rifle. So these things are known for taking bears and buffalo, you know, crazy big animals. So I was expecting it to do a good bit of damage, but that was absolutely ridiculous. One of the best ballistic dummy lab tests I've ever done, for sure. And it would work for self-defense, in case you were still wondering. All right, guys, the 72 caliber Zeus performed a successful lobotomy on our ballistic dummy lab head, and I think it's safe to say this thing would be more than effective enough for self-defense. So hopefully that answers the question. Again, I want to thank thepelletshop.com and Mr. Hollow Point for all their help with these videos. I really appreciate it, and we will have more to come. Please go check them guys out, because without them, these videos would not be possible. Hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what else you would like to see with the 72 caliber Zeus, world's most powerful air rifle, because I can't wait to get this thing back out. If you did like the video, please hit the like button for me, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.